Yeah, I'm Paul Burgess, and I'm a professor here at Institute of Cognitive Neuroscience, and I lead the Executive Functions and Metacognition group. Well, I was here at the ICM right from the start, really. Before we ended up with this lovely building, it was a sort of virtual institute that Tim Challis had the foresight to create, and I was in Bedford Way in the psychology department, working there. And Tim, created this virtual institute. We started to have meetings at which people from all around UCL used to come to, and it reached the point at which it was obvious that rather than these people all having to come from different departments around UCL and meeting up for a couple of hours in a meeting room, that it would be much better if we all sat in the same place together. And so I was very lucky then when he found this building and persuaded the provost, as it was then, to invest in it. I was able to persuade Tim Challis, who I'd known for a long time and worked with for a long time, to let me come in. I'm still here at the ICM because there is nowhere better to work. It's quite as simple as that, in my opinion. Every scientist takes a look at other institutions when they go there for collaborations and when they meet with their colleagues and friends in the science community. And you have a look at the environment that they're in, and you make a decision about where you are is best for you and whether you could do any better. And I have quite simply never come across anywhere that's better. Wonderful bunch of people. We're a very happy group of individuals. I mean, any large group of people has occasional disagreements from time to time, but you could count the major disagreements, on fingers of one hand probably, or maybe even less, or maybe I just don't know about them. But it generally is a very happy place. We're very lucky because we've been led, Tim Challis and Anita Frith and John Norton, and there was John O'Keefe here. We were very lucky in having an amazingly inspirational bunch of senior figures right from the outset here that really set a tenor for the whole place and expectations about how you behave and how you interact with each other. There's a real interdisciplinary feeling from it, where everybody was learning. People were bringing different kinds of skills from all kinds of different areas. And so you go and talk to your colleague who was, background in physics, for instance, and he or she knew something that you didn't know and could show you something, and then you'd be talking to someone with a medical doctor, for instance, and they had something else, and then psychology or speech and language therapy, all kinds of different disciplines. And so you're just learning all the time. And we're still like that now. So why would you ever want to leave an environment like that? It's just learning every week something new's happening, and you've got lots of lovely people. It's been a great place. I think my colleagues have made it quite easy for me, and institutionally UCL supported us very well. So I don't think we've had as many challenges on that front, thankfully. But I think the challenges instead are at a sort of intellectual level. Things have changed a lot since I started. I'm old enough to remember when functional neuroimaging came along. I was working with neurological patients doing human lesion studies long before that. And so the challenge was, it was creating the new technology and seeing how it was going to fit in. And those sorts of changes have happened time and time again. So at the moment, I'm working with wireless near-infrared spectroscopy, and we've run the first study in the world where we've got measurements from activity in the brain while people are walking around outside. So we've actually been taking them around outside Queen Square. I'm looking through the window out into Queen Square now where we were testing them. And so that's, that's a completely new technology that nobody's done before. So they're huge. It brings intellectual challenges in doing that. You don't know whether it's going to work. You might invest a huge amount of time and then it bombs terribly. So there have been lots of challenges like that. Uta Frith persuaded me that autism was very interesting, and she's right. She's right. So I made a major change halfway, about 10 years ago or so, to start working a lot with an area that I hadn't done before. And I'm very glad I did. And again, that's learning a whole new area, having worked mainly with neurological patients. So there are lots of challenges like that, and they're continuing. It's hard to pick out one, I think. And there's an expectation here, I think, that people's scientific careers do evolve like that, and you do benefit from all the people around you, and so you're constantly challenged.